Welcome back to the Cossy the channel. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. As it's been a joy to watch in the last 7 days in the transfer window. We have completed medicals for Matthew Zubimendi and Kepa Arrizabalaga. We have agreed a fee for Christian Nogard, who should be joining Arsenal very, very soon after completing his medicals and signing his contract. And then Arsenal are in advanced talks to sign Christian Mosquera from Valencia. But Fabrizio Romano has said that is not even the good part. The good part for Arsenal fans is just beginning. Arsenal are now going to work on the big deals, and we expect at least 3 deals incoming. 1 could be a left back and 2 could be forwards. Arsenal could actually sign 3 forwards as reported by ESPN and The Guardian a couple of days ago. So in this video, let's discuss who are Arsenal's next 3 signings that are actually coming in. We know a center forward is coming, we know a left winger is coming, and we know that there is a center back stroke left back that Arsenal really like. And of course, we shall discuss the possibility of Arsenal getting another attacking midfielder, especially if Eze is available and Rodrigo is available as well. Now, let me know in the comment box below, after signing Mosquera, Kepa, Nogard, and Zubimendi, what would be your next 3 signings for Arsenal? Remember, we are looking at creativity, we are looking to solve a goal scoring problem, and we are also, most importantly, looking to add depth in the forward area. So think about it before you answer. What would you do if you're Arsenal's Andrea Bata? In the next 3 signings, what would you love Arsenal to do? Let's talk about it. Now, I am going to say, after Mosquera, Arsenal will go on to sign a center forward. There is talk about other players that could be easier deals, but I think the budget that we have right now is going to be focused on signing a center forward and a left winger first before Arsenal progress onto other areas. Obviously, I'm recording this video without factoring in what we call market opportunities. And we know Mikel Arteta and Arsenal, they love a good market opportunity. We could be recording this, we could be talking about, Šeško, Gyökeres, Watkins. And then all of a sudden, Julian Alvarez becomes available for £90 million. Maybe he falls out with the manager. Maybe Atletico Madrid need to sell. Anything could happen, right? So I'm recording this without thinking and factoring in market opportunities. We are going with the players that Arsenal have done a lot of work on, and we're going with deals that Arsenal have actually been progressing with for a couple of weeks now. So let's start off with Benjamin Šeško, because with Šeško, it is now up to 90% that is going to be Arsenal's next signing, rather than Gyökeres, rather than Eze, rather than Rodrigo, rather than any player. And the reason for that, in the last few hours, we have just confirmed that RB Leipzig have now agreed to sell the player for the price Arsenal are willing to pay. Can you imagine that? Like, after Arsenal sent Mosquera, in the same week, we have got news from Bild in German that RB Leipzig are now willing to sell the player we so want for 70 million euros. And guess how much Arsenal are willing to pay? We are willing to pay 70 million euros for the signing of Victor Gyökeres. Sorry, for the signing of Benjamin Šeško. Now, this is why I think Arsenal will go for Šeško over Gyökeres, because again, there is a possibility of Šeško's price going down, and that causes kind of a ripple effect where the price of Gyökeres goes down as well, and then Arsenal are caught in a dilemma. But if both players are at the same price, I think it's going to be Benjamin Šeško. And if Arsenal really feel 70 million euros is worth of the services of Benjamin Šeško, even if the price of Gyökeres goes down, they're going to go for Benjamin Šeško. And these are the reasons I've put down for you. I hope they make sense. 1, the price. If Arsenal really feel that Šeško is the big striker they always wanted, they will have saved up some money. I mean, Fabrizio said in January, they will not sign anyone at center forward, even if Kai Havertz gets injured, and he did get injured. And Fabrizio said Arsenal will only look internally. They're not going to sign an external striker. Why? They want to keep all their cash safe and ready to pounce on a new center forward. And at the time, Fabrizio was saying that there are two players that Arsenal considering as top priorities for the centre forward position. That was Isak and Šeško. Obviously, as we rolled into the summer, we saw links to Julian Alvarez, we saw links to players like Oli Watkins again, resurface, links to other players like Boniface. But the primary targets have been Isak and Benjamin Šeško. So that means that Arsenal will have put money aside, enough money to sign a big centre forward like Alexander Isak. And I'm thinking maybe 90 million pounds, right? Maybe Arsenal were thinking we got into the summer, Newcastle don't get to the UEFA Champions League, and we table 90 million for Alexander Isak and we get the deal done. So if you have 90 million for Alexander Isak, you definitely have the 55 to 59 million that would cost to sign Benjamin Šeško. Because if Šeško is 70 million euros, that is about 57 million pounds. Arsenal have that money. And if they believe that Mikel Arteta wants him and they believe that he is the right project, they're going to invest that money in him. That's number one. That's reason why, number one, why I'm thinking Šeško is going to be the next signing Arsenal introduced at the Emirates Stadium. Number two, reliable sources. So when you think about the reports from both deals, the Gyökeres deal has been heavily reported on by what I would call smaller outlets in Portugal. CNN Portugal, we had the CN Journal, and then we also had Abola as well. They're not bad reports, they're just smaller as compared to The Athletic and all these other big outlets that are reporting on Šeško. Sami Makbo said just a few days ago, he was on the Arsenal Vision podcast, and he said, if everything goes to plan, Šeško is the striker Arteta wants, and Arteta will get his man. That's number one. Number two, then he said that whatever happens, right, Arsenal are still there for Benjamin Šeško, and they're not walking away. They like him, and it's their number one option, is their number one priority. So until now, Mikel Arteta and Arsenal, and whoever is doing deals at Arsenal, understand that whatever deals they're doing, Šeško is the priority, and they've got to save money for him. So I think there are bigger outlets reporting on Šeško. There are more reliable outlets reporting on Šeško in recent days as compared to Gyökeres. Gyökeres, yes, we are getting good reports from smaller outlets, but you look at Šeško, BBC's Sami Makbo giving us a massive update that it's still the priority and Arsenal will do whatever it takes to get him. Then you have The Athletic saying Arsenal undecided, but Šeško is still one of the players that they consider a priority for this summer. That's number two. There are more reliable outlets reporting on Šeško than Gyökeres. And then, think about this, right? We've done a lot of work on this Šeško guy, like 2 years. Arsenal have invested 2 years in the Benjamin Šeško deal. You're not just going to walk away from such a deal. You're not going to. It's like having it's like having 2 years or putting 2 years or 3 years in a project, right? You don't just dump that project because there is something new, right? The reason as to why you put a lot of effort and a lot of time and a lot of years in a project is because you either believe in it or it is actually working. So I think Arsenal have put a lot of time in the Benjamin Šeško project because they believe he's got the fundamentals that Mikel Arteta wants in a centre forward. And when I think about Šeško, and then I compare him to Kai Havertz, Mikel would want a centre forward like Kai Havertz. Height, physicality, can fight for the ball, but maybe a few improvements. Can you run faster than Kai Havertz? Yes. Can you finish better than Kai Havertz? Yes. Can you be a little bit versatile as compared to Kai Havertz? Šeško can do that, right? So in my opinion, again, I think that Arsenal's time that we have invested in in this deal will determine that Šeško becomes the next signing and not Victor Gyökeres. A lot of work has been done on this deal, and all outlets are reporting the same. Arsenal put in a lot of work. Arsenal don't want their work to go to waste. And then you think about the risk. Gyökeres versus Šeško. Arsenal believe that Gyökeres might come from the Portuguese league I'd not give you the 30, 40 goals he's actually scoring in Portugal. He might actually flop like Darwin Núñez. And the idea behind that is they look at Gyökeres as a player that is playing in a weaker league, in a smaller league, and therefore he might actually face big difficulties upgrading to one of the top 5 leagues in Europe. With Šeško, Arsenal look at him as a smaller risk. One, he's young, he has a lot of time to adapt to the Premier League. That is number one. Number two, his resale value will be high. But also number three, he's been playing in a tougher league as compared to Portugal. So that means that he can adapt to the Premier League. But this is what I also want to say. We have not seen so many strikers come from Germany and do it in the Premier League. Okay? There is Nicolas Schürrle at Chelsea, flop. Timo Werner, Chelsea, Tottenham, absolute stinking flop. But of course, we've got the likes of Heung-min Son, who has come in as a winger, also kind of winger stroke forward, and he has done it very well. So it's Lucas Podolski came in at Arsenal from FC Cologne, flop, right? So it's not a guarantee that if someone comes from Germany, they will actually make it. So Gyökeres, very slim chance. Then you've got the Rodrigo stroke as a possibility. I think as to sign a left winger next, right? A left winger is going to be among our next 3 signings. Now, I think it will be Eze, right? Because this Eze deal has got advantages, and advantages that Arsenal have already displayed they like this summer. Number one, it is an easy deal. Number two, player wants to join. Number three, Arsenal have the power in this deal. If you think about the deals Arsenal have left, Dean Huijsen, well, we didn't have the power. Player wanted Madrid. Williams, we didn't have the power. Player wanted Barcelona. Then you think about Joan Garcia. The player wanted to join Arsenal 100%, but the price. So Arsenal want deals that are doable. We don't want to waste a lot of time on any deals. If a deal is difficult and undoable, we are not messing about. We are going to move on to the next step. So this is why Eze, for me, might be Arsenal's next signing after a centre forward rather than Rodrigo. And I also want to say this. I won't be surprised at all if Arsenal sign Rodrigo and Eze, and you can watch my next video because I'm gonna be explaining why Arsenal could sign Eberechi Eze and Rodrigo in the same window at the same time. And this is about market opportunities, and it's also about timing. Eberechi Eze is available at a very good price, easy deal, but also Arsenal can manage the timing of the deal. Like, you can go and trigger the release clause of Eberechi Eze right now. With Rodrigo, you've got to wait and wait and wait and wait, right? And I think there's so many things that are appealing to Eze, on Eze, that would appeal to Mikel Arteta, not just compared to Rodrigo, but I think Arteta would be okay to say, yes, I like Eze, but there is no problem if we don't get him. Let's go and do Eze, right? Even if we don't get Rodrigo, let's do Eze. He's versatile, Premier League proven, it's a good deal, and the player really wants to play for Arsenal, okay? So I think Eze has big chances of being like the the 6th signing of the summer for Arsenal than Rodrigo. But the reason as to why I think Rodrigo also has chances is Arsenal look at it as a dream signing. Arsenal look at it as a very good deal, so they could be willing to wait a little bit longer. But I won't be surprised if Arsenal sign Eze in July, and they're like, okay, we have signed Eze to keep ourselves safe. Now, if Rodrigo is available, then we shall go for him as a market opportunity. But if he's not available, then that's okay. Because Eze and Rodrigo can play in the same team, on the same pitch, and they don't interfere with each other. Eze is like a classic 8/10. Rodrigo, a winger. Right wing, left wing, he does the job. And then our third signing could come very late in the window, but I'm thinking Gyökeres. And I've got this, you remember when I told you that I think the Gyökeres deal will happen, but it take some time? On the same day I said that, Arsenal launched a bid to sign Christian Mosquera from Valencia. But on the same day as well, Ryan Taylor said Arsenal are still there for Gyökeres, but now it depends on Zinchenko and Kiwior departures. It also depends on the asking price for that Ajax are going to put forward. And I think that got me thinking, is Zinchenko going to stay? No. Is Kiwior really going to stay at Arsenal? No, he's not going to stay. And even if he stayed, does Mikel Arteta look at Kiwior as a backup to Skelly? He doesn't. Now, Ricardo Calafiori can do that, but his availability is questionable, right? So Gyökeres could be Arsenal's third signing, in these three that we're talking about. He could be the third, but it's one that would take some time. Let Arsenal do their sales, raise money, and look at the Rodrigo deal. If the Rodrigo deal doesn't happen, Gyökeres comes in. If the Rodrigo deal comes in, then there's a possibility that maybe we don't get to sign Gyökeres because the funds have been displayed elsewhere. But if Arsenal complete these three, Eze or Rodrigo, Gyökeres or Šeško, and then Gyökeres, we are cooking, right? We are